Hi guys, it's Summers here and welcome to another episode of my Squad Goals career mode on FIFA 19 with Aston Villa. As we can see here, I'm opening up the episode with some negotiations in regards to Richie Delat, the right back. He's an ageing element of the squad at 33, the Belgian, so he can obviously play right or left back, but he's not featured because he was out on loan last season, played a handful of games in the closing part of the season, but he's not somebody that I really need to hold on to, and so I've accepted a couple of offers there. Hopefully we'll get him moved on and we can reutilise that money further down the line. Marcus Tavernier, I'm quite happy to let him go out on loan, a short-term loan at this stage of the season, just to try to get some experience under his belt. We've got other players that can play in those positions, so hopefully he'll come back to us with an improvement of his overall and the other areas of his game in improving. And we move on to an offer here for James Chester from Buenos Aires, $4 million for the Welsh international. I don't want to accept that because we just haven't got the depth at the centre-back position to be able to let him go at this stage. Looking here at an offer that's been made for Jadon Sancho, a player that I am quite interested in, but I don't really have the funds to go down that route at this stage, so we won't be proceeding with looking at that player at this stage, but obviously in the future we may look at getting him on board. Youth squad is obviously quite important to us, so just going through the scout reports here from Louis Fraser, who's located in France, see who he's had a look at and if there's any potential there to sign any players. Moving on to our other scout, Alfie Rose, who's out in the Ivory Coast, see if he's picked up any gems, and unfortunately at this stage I can't really see anybody there that kind of fits the bill. There's a keeper there called Innocent Sissoko that was okay, but unfortunately we've already got a handful of keepers and I don't really need to sign anybody else. Another player that we bought last season was Ryan Brewster. I'm quite happy to see him go out on loan because I didn't get a huge amount of games with him last year. Need to just try to get some more games under his belt, and I don't think we can really offer him that position, so sending him out on loan. As we look here at a few regen players that I've managed to find in Serie A, there's a handful of players there that I'm quite interested in, but we'll leave any signings till a little later on. I just want to get through the first few games and figure out where we need to improve, where our strengths and weaknesses are once more, as you see us completing a little bit more training with some of the youth players. Transfer offer in here for one of our players. Been offered $720,000 for the player. Okay, Jamie Patterson, a player that we bought in last season because I've had really good experience with him down the years on career mode. He's been a very solid player whenever I've had him, but obviously he's reached an age in FIFA terms where you don't have a massive progression anymore. So although he was a solid player for us last season, helped out where was needed and scored a few goals in fact, I'm quite happy to let him go and bank that money so that we can go out and purchase some more youth players perhaps, and look to the future rather than somebody who's age 27 at this point. Got a loan offer in for our goalkeeper Figueroa here on a 1-year loan deal. I'm just going to negotiate that though. Don't want to let him go out for a full year. I'm happy to send him out on loan, get some more experience for him, but I don't want to send him out for a long-term loan. We want to do a short-term here as I negotiate the wage split with the approaching team. He's gone out on loan at this point. Again, going to train up some more players. You'll notice that I'm training Horn, which is a goalkeeper that's still in our youth squad at the moment. I'm doing so because he's going to be the replacement for the keeper we've just sent out on loan. So if we just have a look through our youth academy here, a couple of players that are obviously showing signs of improvement. based on the training that we've been providing to them, one of which is obviously Robert Horn, who's now 17, and he's improving quite dramatically. He's up to 70, so we're going to add him to the squad. Good job we had 2 offers in for that player, because we've just had one of the transfer talks break down. As we have a look at Gary Gardner, another player that was out on loan last season. He would very much be a fringe player this year, so I'm quite happy to let him go at this stage and potentially just bank the money, use it wisely, or perhaps not even wisely, go out and buy somebody with that money that I think is going to help our overall objectives, which is, as we're looking at here, we've got obviously different objectives for this season. Our financial, we must finish the season with a profit margin of £66 million. I think that's going to be quite an ask, to be honest, because we don't have the kind of squad where we can go off and sell huge amounts of players for huge amounts of money. Youth development, within 2 seasons, have at least one player from the youth academy played over 50% of the games. I'm not going to achieve that this season, but we'll try for next year. With one of the keepers perhaps. Another offer in for Gary Gardner, which I've just gone ahead and accepted because it was 900,000, roughly where we were at with the last offer from the previous team. And we had an offer to loan out Maitland-Niles, which we rejected. Patterson's gone, as you could see, we've sold him. As we move into the first game of the episode, and we're playing 5 at the back once more, with Maitland-Niles and McGinn in the centre. Grealish just ahead in the cam position, with Codger and Dicko up front. On the bench we've got several of the players that we've been looking at. So this game again, they've hit the bar there, Everton, and the keeper's had to make another save from distance. As we move on out to a bit action that we're going to press on with, lobbing the ball up over the top, and defender's made a mistake. Dicko's in on it like a shot, and he's put it away. A great goal for Nua Dicko once more. Gets the season off to a blinding start. It was all because of a mistake from the defender. Went to chest it down and just couldn't get the ball under control, and Dicko was there to pounce on it and put it away nicely. Just finesse shot it past the keeper. It's a good start to the season. Maitland-Niles there into Codger, who's knocked it onto Shaparenko. Shaparenko's knocked it out onto the wing into Al Mohammadi. He gets it into the box. Defender got there though, and we couldn't capitalise on his poor touch as Everton throw one into the box there. We've been put under a lot of pressure by Everton. We've managed to steal the ball away, and there we go, 77 minutes in, and that is Bernard, who's just come on. Another one of those moments in FIFA. I don't know if anybody else is finding this, but I do find that there's certain key times in a match where the AI seem to be a bit OP, where they just get a big swing advantage, sort of just before half time, just after a substitution's been made, just after you scored a goal against them. They seem to just come alive, like their players are far superior to yours. But anyway, a decentish way to start the season with a 1-1 draw against Everton. Not too bad really. Dicko man of the match, and he steals the top player of this game, with House on 4, McGinn on 3, El Mohammadi on 3. As we move on into a bit of training for our players. We're going to have a shift around here, and Ricky Pugh, who we bought in the last episode, in the first episode of the season, we're putting him in there. Just want to add some strength to him because he felt a bit lightweight when we've played with him. Gary Gardner's gone, and we've been notified here of some interest in Michael Kingsley, one of the regens that I mentioned about earlier. Schalke are interested in purchasing him from Bologna. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into some negotiations here with Bologna for the youngster, because I've got a good feeling about this player. So I've offered £1 million with a 2% sell-on clause. They've come back adding 50,000 onto the onto the deal, and quite happy to just add the 50 grand on. So just over $1 million for him. His current wage is 4,300. He's accepted a squad rotation role, 4-year contract, and I'm now offering 3,500 wage. But he's countered that. We're going to obviously try to reduce that wage bill because that's just how I roll. You've seen from season 1 that I'm always looking to reduce the wage bill. As we complete the signing of Michael Kingsley there, we're moving on into a marquee signing, in my opinion. Somebody who's going to be an amazing player for the future. Timothy Weah, who is obviously George Weah's son. We've got him in for $7.5 million from PSG. The deal's done on that side. It's just a case of closing down the deal in terms of wages, which again I'm trying to get the wage bill as low as possible. I'm not too bothered about the appearance bonus or the signing bonus because they're relatively low figures in the grand scheme of things. But as you can see, he's taken a wage cut to come to us as well, so he clearly wants to play some football. Currently on 22,000 at PSG, and we've signed him on a £13,000 contract. As we move into game 2 of this episode, we're going to face off against Swansea. So as we roll on out to our lineup here, you can see that we are going to play again 4-5 at the back. El Mohammadi, Chester, Zagadou, House and Henry. Maitland-Niles and Dozzell in midfield with Grealish in the cam. And then up front we've got Weah making his debut alongside Dicko. So Swansea here on the ball, moving it around quite nicely, and got it out to the right hand side with Narsing. But a fantastic tackle there from House, closing his man down and getting the ball away. But they've got the ball again here, edge of the box sort of stuff, knocked it infield and managed to get one past us. It was an inevitability. The opening phase of the game was quite scrappy, but Swansea had most of the possession in good areas, and it was just a case of them getting an early advantage. If I'm being honest, it was one of those type of games. As you can see here, they've knocked the ball in well, managed to get away from the defender Chester, and finished it quite well into the left-hand corner. Keeper nearly got his fingers on it. Okay, we've got the ball here out on the wide left with Rico Henry. He knocks one into the box, but it's a really poor delivery on his right foot. We know he's quite heavily left-footed, but Grealish through on goal. Keeper's managed to grab that one. It was quite a weak or tame effort in the end. Okay, Swansea again knocking the ball around quite nicely, unable to close them down really and get possession away from them, with a nice shot on goal there. Keeper's had to make a great save, and again under pressure from them in the 82nd minute. Knock this ball out wide into the centre and fizzed one, but he knocked it wide. It's a 1-0 loss. It's not the worst result, but it's certainly not the best. El Mohammadi there getting man of the match, and as you can see, we only actually had 2 shots on target. The game's top players are El Mohammadi with 6 points and Grealish with 3 points. Not any real star performers in that game aside from El Mohammadi, who now leads the episode's top players with 9. Dicko's got 7, House with 6, and Rico Henry rounds out with 4. Moving into a bit of training again with the youth players and Puig. Just trying to get them grown, obviously. Santoro is now part of the main squad, but he's still receiving some training, obviously, because he's still classed as a youngster. So we move out to the 3rd game of the episode. We're facing off against Chelsea in this one. This should be quite the task, if I'm honest. Chelsea are going to be a team that we're going to struggle against, I would have thought. As we noticed that we've had a little bit of a change around with the formation. We've dropped Maitland-Niles in slightly deeper in the 3, and we took one of the strikers a little deeper and changed that to Grealish. So we've got Grealish playing in the centre-forward style position, really. El Mohammadi there with the ball into Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles can't make anything of it. Caught in 2 minds, I think, at that stage. Grealish again into that Maitland-Niles, and Grealish tackled, but not very well. Could have given away the free kick there, but Shaparenko on the ball, holding up possession. Once again, Shaparenko knocks it into Grealish. Grealish knocks it out to El Mohammadi on the wing. Can he get a good cross in? He gets it in there, but the keeper manages to get his gloves on it. So we move on here into the second half. Bakayoko on the ball into Pjanic, who's just come on, and it's a bloody worldie. Finesse shot from about 25 yards. Pjanic, who they've obviously just signed, has just come on, and he has scored an absolute beast of a goal. Bakayoko, nobody around Pjanic, nobody closing him down, plenty of time to just pick that top left-hand corner out, and the keeper, although he does his very best, look at how far he set that ball out. It's a great goal there from Chelsea. If I'm being completely honest, you don't mind conceding goals like that, as we've lost possession again. But look at that for a tackle there from, I think that was Zagadou. Fantastic tackle. As we're going to knock the ball out from McGinn here to Rico Henry as he gets out down the wing. Cuts back, knocks it in the box. Can we get on the end of it? No, the Chelsea defender manages to nod it out. Another great effort there from Chelsea towards the end of this match. To get in behind, and it's another effort. Great volley there from Chelsea. It's another defeat. It's not a great way to get the season going, but we knew that this would be a difficult season moving up to the Premier League. And James Chester's the one that really steps up to the plate in this game as we lose to Chelsea. As he gets a 7.5 and man of the match. That also means that he's taken 8 points in this game, and that takes him to the leaderboard for this episode with 11 points, ahead of El Mohammadi with 10 and Kodra and House with 6. As we move out to some more training with the youngsters, Santoro, Lacroix, Pugh and Horn, all adding to their potential for the future. Just moving on to the youth scouts as we relocate them. We've put Alfie Rose into Denmark, and we're moving Lewis Fraser, the Scottish scout, out to Sweden. As we move into the next game of this episode, it's a cup match, and as you can see from the lineup, I've made a few changes. We're playing a 4-3-3 formation with Horn in goal, Wagnerman right back, Chester, Zagadou centre backs, Henry left back, Maitland, Niles and Kingsley in the middle, with Santoro playing as a cam. Smith Rowe and Nelson will play on the wings, whilst Weah will play as striker. So as we can see, we're playing against Stevenage, and we've got the ball here in the centre of the pitch. Knocked it on through to Santoro. He's just having a meander with the ball. Knocks it down the line to Smith Rowe. He cuts back inside and knocks it onto Kingsley, who gets a goal straight away. Michael Kingsley there, the new centre midfielder, the regen that we've signed for just over £1 million. Nice knock back there by Smith Rowe. It's a pass that could have come at any point because it was a great run into the box by Kingsley, who actually makes the keeper. Great goal there from the youngster. As we move on into the next bit of the action, Maitland-Niles knocks the ball out wide right onto Nelson. He cuts back inside, having dummied the player, and Smith Rowe hits it against the keeper with a great volley from about 16 yards. Not a bad effort from the winger. And we've got a corner here, knocking it into the box. Keeper came for it but completely missed it, and it's Dan Axel Zagadou. Zagadou. Great leap from Zagadou there. Keeper was floundering as he came out to try and get that. He's miles out of his goal, and Zagadou was clearly head and shoulders above anybody else in the box and just nods it home into an empty net. So we're 2-0 up. Moving into the second half. And Santoro with a nice through ball out to Nelson, who switched wings with Smith Rowe. Oh, he's done the defender there, and he hits it towards the near post, but the keeper manages to save it. Smith Rowe here on the ball, knocks it up into the air, and through ball to Weah. Weah cuts back inside, and he's knocked it in the box to Nelson, who's there, ready to nod it home. A great team effort there, nice goal, 3-0 up, and pretty much cruising. Great through ball there to Weah, and he instantaneously cut back and swung the ball into the box for Nelson, who's drifted away to the back post, lost his marker, and just nods it back across the face of the keeper into the far side of the goal. Great effort, great goal. We've had possession stolen away from us there. Stevenage on the ball. Oh, he's done the defender, knocks it into the box, and players got ahead of us. Managed to get one back, 3-1, and suddenly what seemed like an unassailable lead might actually turn the tide. It's a good header. Rico Henry just basically got lost when compared to the defender, which got there in front of him. Moving on into some further action with Santoro there, just moving the ball around, and Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles knocks it into Santoro. He knocks it back again. Kingsley on to Maitland-Niles, and just playing the ball around here, spraying it around, trying to open up some space. And yes, Kingsley there with a superb ball through to Timothy Weah, as we've just moved the team around, and Timothy Weah gets a great goal there to take us 4-1 up. Cut them open with that ball there, Kingsley, and Weah was there to exploit it. Left-footed shot. Keeper had no chance really. It's well and truly into the corner of the goal. Great effort. Moving on towards the end, and Smith Rowe should have been 5-1 there. Smith Rowe with the opportunity to grab another, smashes it back across the face of the goal. It was the right choice, but just the wrong execution. As we can see here, Kingsley getting some props for his work. Oh, hit the post, and a bit of drama there from Stevenage as Pugh's come on, and he's made an effort that the keeper's had to palm away. Stevenage with another effort, and oh my God, what a piss poor header that is, straight into the path of the Stevenage player Byram, and he's just slotted it home. It's come across the player, and he's tried to clear it away, but just got no power on it whatsoever, and it was straight into the path of the Stevenage player, who's just basically slotted it past the goalkeeper and scored a goal. It's a consolation though, 4-2, a victory for us here in the Carabao Cup, and quite a good result in the end. Timothy Weah getting a 9.5 and 11 points in one episode. 11 points in one episode. That's an amazing result, with Kingsley getting 8 as well. I think that just goes to show how well those players played in that game. So this episode's top players are now Chester with 15, Weah with 11, El Mohammadi with 10, Zagadou with 8, and Kingsley with 7. As we move on straight into the last game of the episode, as we face Stoke.
Will you please make some noise as we welcome to the pitch our visitors, Aston Villa, and your Stoke City.
So as we can see from the lineup here, we've got Horn in goal, El Mohammadi on the right, Oxford, Zagadou, House in the middle with Taylor out left, Shaparenko and McGinn in the middle with Grealish in the cam position, and Weah and Codger up front. Switch back to the 5 at the back. I'm not quite confident yet to take that overpowering 4-3-3 into the Premier League matches. Perhaps we'll shift it around in the coming games, but at this stage I'm still trying to do my best to defend that kind of effort. The more players in front of goal that we can get, I think is for the best at the moment. But terrible. But he recovered from it there, Zagadou. Nearly gave the ball away. But as we can see, it was a very boring 0-0. There was very little action in the game. And Neil Taylor, the left back, scored 6 points in that game. Shaparenko with 2 and McGinn with 2. This episode's top players were Chester with 15, El Mohammadi with 11, and Whale with 11. So that's it for this episode. All that leaves me to do is ask you to hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you want to see more content from me in the future on FIFA 2019. Also hit that bell notification next to the subscribe button if you want mobile notifications.